Shalom, family. Um, this is Yeremi Ben Levi Yisrael, uh, coming to you straight from El Dorado, Arkansas, on this holy Shabbat, holy convocation. Y'all notice I shaved my head. The dreads is gone. Most High called me to something. I believe the Most High called me to something that I wasn't ready for when I cut the dreads off. So, just to give a little bit of explanation to why I cut the dreads, and just to give a quick word on this Shabbat, on this holy Shabbat, I just want to read Jeremiah chapters 1 and 2. Y'all bear with me. I got to be a witness in this earth. So here we go. Shalom, family. The book says, book of Yeremiah, chapter 7, chapter 1, verse 4. Then the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Before I knew you, and before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you, and ordained you a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, Adonai Yahuwah, behold, I cannot speak, for I'm a child. See, we can't say that we too young, Zion. We just got to go forth. When y'all put something in your heart, don't matter how old you is. When y'all put something in your heart and he tell you to do something, that's him ministering to your own heart, and you must do that. It's important that you do that, because you're going to have to answer to King Yahusha, to the king, if you don't. He says in chapter 7, But Yahuwah said unto me, Say not, I am a child, for you shall go to all that I shall send you, and whatsoever I command you, you shall speak. He says, Be not afraid of their faces. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says Yahuwah. So it doesn't matter if you're young. That's number one. Then number two, he tell you he know who you are before he formed you out the womb, before you even your mama gave birth to you. He already knew who you was. He already had a plan for you. He already gave you instructions and things to do. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about the commandments here, because we have commandments that y'all done gave us in this book. And then we have commandments, what I would like to say, commandments of the heart. They always gonna go with the book, but they gonna be specific to you and what you need to do to build y'all's kingdom. Okay? So he said, when he put something in your heart to do, but before he formed you in the womb, you can't, number one, say you too young. You can't, number one, say you too young and the people not going to listen to you. The people ain't going to listen to you anyway. That's why he said, be not afraid of their faces. Don't be scared of what they don't trip on what the situation is, because he'll use a young person before he used the old. All right. So then he says, be not afraid of their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says Yahuwah. Then Yahuwah put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And Yahuwah said unto me, Behold, I put my words in your mouth. Now the words he talking about, Zion, are not what's in your heart. It's not what's in your mind. It's his word that you done read out the Bible, that he done put in your heart, that you trying to keep. Because there's a certain portion of Zion that loves Yahuwah. We love him in our core, but just because you love him don't mean that you obey him. That don't mean that you worship him. That don't mean that he hears your prayers. Listen, Zion, you're not too young. You can't be afraid of their faces. All right. And and when he touch your mouth and he puts some words in your mouth, this is Jeremiah chapter 1. We in verse 8, 9, and 10. You can't say that you're too young, Zion. You can't say that you're too young. When he puts something on your heart for you to do, it's going to line up with the word, but it's going to be specific, tailor-made for you because he chose you from the womb to do something specific in the earth, which is where his kingdom is going to reside because the kingdom is coming down. Okay. He says, verse 8, he says, be not afraid of their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says Yahuwah. Then Yahuwah put forth his hand and touched my mouth. Yahuwah said unto me, behold, I have put my words in your mouth. See, I have this day set you over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out, to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down, to build, and to plant. Now, Zion, listen to me. Listen to me clearly. The mission that Yah sends you on from your heart, this mission is always going to be for you to root out wickedness, iniquity, uh, all the crap that we do. You only supposed to have a word in season and out of season, meaning you gonna supposed to be telling folks what this commandment say. Because when you tell people what the word of Yah says, it roots out all iniquity and evil. It roots it up. Just like if you was pulling out a weed, you got to pull the weed from the root up. Because if you leave the root in there, then the weed gonna grow back. So y'all saying you supposed to be rooting out. You supposed to be pulling down. You pulling down strongholds. Everything that got a stronghold on you and y'all's people and the missions that he sends you on, the things that he has for you to tell people or what minister he put in your heart, that it's got something, it's going to line up with the words, Zion, every time. But it's going to be something specific for you to do that nobody else can do but you. And you know that when it's for you to do, you'll know because it'll be to root out, to pull down, and to destroy. What are you rooting out? What are you pulling down? And what are you destroying, Zion? You're destroying the iniquity and the wickedness, what you see in your eyes that the Most High done put in your heart to convict. Okay? And then he says, you're to throw down. That means when he says pull down, to root out and to destroy, but then when he says throw down, now Zion, we talk, you know how we talk. When we say it's about to go down, we about to throw down. That means we doing it with a thrashing kind of manner. It means like we definitely finna go ham. We finna thrash this thing. You know, so there's a fervency is what the book is trying to say. There's a fervency to do away with iniquity. There should be a fervency to do away with wickedness. Anything that this book say that Zion ain't supposed to be doing. There's supposed to be something in your spirit that not only is it like, okay, I got to do this and I'm doing it, but there's supposed to be a fervent spirit about it. Like I'm doing it now. I'm doing it with force and I'm doing it with fervorance. If that's even a word. And then he says, verse 10, see, I have this day set you over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out, to pull down, to destroy, and to throw down, to build and to plant. Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Yeremi, what do you see? And I see a rod of an almond tree. Now, Zion, I contemplated over this many nights. I asked y'all, see, my grandmother always told me, when you want to know something from the Most High, you got to ask the Most High. Dig into his book and get on your knees in prayer and dig into that book some more until he reveal himself unto you, until he reveal his word unto you. So when he says in verse 11, this was key to me. We in the book of Yeremi, chapter 1, verse 11. When he says, moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me saying, Yeremi, what do you see? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said Yahuwah unto me, you have seen well, for I hasten my word to perform it. Yah's word is his judgment, Zion. Now, you got to think about this. This is, it'll overflow our head if we don't just make it plain. The rod of an almond tree, what's the rod? The rod, Zion, when he says, spare not the rod, Zion, is what he whoop your tail with. That's what he whoop you with, Zion. And if he got it from an almond tree, them old folks back in the day would have said that's something like a switch. Like a switch. Not a switch it's like a switch like you whoop somebody with. And he said he hastens his word to perform it. It's his judgment. So what Jeremy seen was he seen a switch. He seen Yah's rod, which is from the almond tree. Now, I looked at an almond tree, y'all, and Zion, the almond tree got some branches on it, man, that are thick, bendable. This one of them switches tear your tail up. Yirmiyahu said he seen the rod of Yahuwah, and the rod of Yahuwah was a switch. Now, I got a 5-year-old little girl, Zion. Every time she get out of line, I want to grab a switch or a branch from a tree and tear her butt up. That's what Yirmiyahu seen. Then he says, and the word of Yahuwah came unto me a second time, saying, what do you see? I said, verse 13, I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. See, Zion, that seething pot, you got to understand when you do some gardening and when you doing stuff, planting things in pots and things like that, you know that they come forth. So what Yah is trying to say is Yirmiyahu seen something coming forth. It was comparable to if you had a plant in a pot of some dirt and you put a seed in it and it came forth out of the seething pot. Most times when I garden, Zion, I take something look like a ice tray. It's a garden plant thing. It's called a seething pot. And you put the seed in it and you put like peat moss or that kind of dirt in it that make the seed grow fast. Then when the seed sprout forth, it comes up. See, Yah is saying that Yirmiyahu seen that kind of blessing come forth or something coming forth, but it was from the north. Now we know that in the book of Amos, he said that he was going to send an army from the north. So what Yirmiyahu saying that he's seeing, according to Yah, the first thing he said, he seen the rod of an almond tree. He said he seen the rod of an almond tree, which is that switch. Tear your butt up, Zion. This the rod of Yahuwah, which is a switch off an almond tree. And then God told Yirmiyahu, he said, you seen well. Then he asked Yirmiyahu, what do you see now? And he said he seen a seething pot. And he said in this pot, he seen something come forth, and it came forth out of the north. Zion, this is prophecy saying that the Most High is finna the rod, that switch. He's finna use another nation to correct us. This is what Yeremi is seeing. Now, Zion, if y'all can't see this prophecy that already came to pass, if you can't see that Elohim, Abba Yah has whooped Zion with a switch. I mean, everything from the police beating us down, everything to poverty that we go through, everything from this COVID situation to what we know that they're doing to us, how they took our land, they steal every invention, they poison our water and our food. Zion, this is the switch of Yahuwah. This is the rod of Yahuwah. This is that seething pot that Yeremiah said he's seen that was going to come from the north. A people's tongue that we didn't know was going to come to correct us. Stay with me, Zion. He says in verse 14, then Yahuwah said unto me, out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdom of the north, says Yahuwah, and they shall come, they shall set everyone his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem, and against the walls thereof round about, and against the cities of Yehuda. So the north they coming. Y'all finna whip us with that rod, that switch. He gonna tear you up. He gonna tear us up, Zion. Like, you remember when your mama used to whoop you with a switch, and then she will talk to you while she whooping you? That's how Yahuwah does us. He talked to us while he whooping us. That rod that Yeremiah seen in Zion, in verse that rod of an almond tree that he seen in verse 11, that's the switch of Yahuwah. And that seething pot that he seen coming out of the north, that's his word that he's saying come to pass. He's showing you how the judgment is going to happen. So he whipping you, Zion, with a switch. And our parents, I remember when I was growing up, they used to talk to us. If you don't get your butt over here and do this, that's how they used to whip us, Zion. So not only do you see the switch and he whipping you with the switch, Zion, but he's also talking to you through that seasoning pot. He's telling you that I'm going to send another nation. The curse is going to come. This nation, because you didn't do this other nation gonna come. They're gonna whoop your butt. They're gonna put you in captivity. They're gonna get you to the point where I ain't, You see, Zion, y'all looks at us like it's a relationship, like a child, like a father to a child. He tells us that he gonna whip us with a switch in verse 11, Jeremiah, chapter 11. That rod of almond tree is a switch. That seething pot is him talking to us while he whipping our tail. That's the army from the north. Okay. Then he says, in verse 15, he says, it ain't gonna stop. These folks gonna encamp around your camp, surround you. That's my whip. That's my rod. I sent it. So don't get mad at the heathens, Zion. When you on your job, the heathen doing what they supposed to do. That's the rod of Yahuwah. Okay? That's the rod of Yahuwah. When you feel like things are unfair, Zion, when it comes to you and the heathen, your skin color and all that, that's the rod of Yahuwah, which is a branch off an almond tree that Yeremiah seen. That switch. All right? So he says, and I will utter my judgments against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and have burnt incense unto other Elohim, and worship the works of their hands. Now, Zion, when we be reading this book, y'all, we got to embody what y'all talking about now. When he says the works of their own hands, all right, he's talking about those that are doing the work of other Elohims. Okay? All right? So when you keeping all these pagan feast days and all this stuff, most of us Hebrews know, but for those that are doing the work of other Elohim, that means instead of whatever you're doing, I don't care how you believe, this gonna solve all this, Zion. I don't care how you believe. If your lifestyle and your whatever you doing, your religion, your lifestyle, whatever you believe in, is outside the commandments and the word of Elohim, you doing the work of other Elohims. It doesn't matter what you talking about. How you eat, how you dress, how you carry yourself, how you talk to other people, how humble you are, because humble is the way. Your secret sin, your lying sin, all of us lie, Zion. It's hard, because we have this thing it's called pride. All right. And pride to kick in at the main time when you need to tell the truth. Pride to always kick in. The devil gonna always beat up when it's time for you to tell the truth. And sometimes we'll tell the truth about certain things. Sometimes we'll lie about other things. But Zion, you know what you lie and you tell the truth about. But you got to understand that this is the enemy at work simultaneously while Yah is trying to humble you and his Ruach is in you. So he says he's going to whip us with a switch, the rod of an almond tree. In Yeremi, verse 11, he tells us that seething pot, that's his word, like he whipping us. While he's talking to us while he whipping us. I'm going to send an army from the north. They going to do you like this because you ain't did that. All right. Then he tells us that this thing is going to be around us. These people are going to be around us. It's his judgment. So he says in verse 17, you therefore gird up your loins and arise and speak unto them all that I command you. Now, Zion, this whole thing started with Yah done sent you on mission. He formed you in the womb to root out, to pull down, to destroy iniquity and wickedness that you see with your eye gate and you hear. But he also wants you to build and to plant. So as you telling folks that we ain't supposed to be doing this, we ain't supposed to be doing that, and your mouth is right, and we keeping the commandments, you telling them right, but you also got to replace that with a seed. You got to tell them how to overcome that. Nah, we don't do Christmas. Nah, we gonna keep Purim and Passover, or we don't do this, but we do this. You can't just tell people, convict people of their lifestyle. Zion, you got to be patient like Elohim been patient with us. You can't convict people of their lifestyle and not build. And see, the way to build ain't just telling people what's right. Sometimes it take time. See, a seed, when you put a seed in the pot, it don't grow right away. You put that seed in the pot, then you got to water it. And you got to wait. You got to water it some more, and you got to wait. And you got to look at it, put some light on it, put some sun on it. Then you got to wait. It might not come up when you want it to. It might take, from the time that you planted it, it might take 2-3 weeks for that seed to grow. See, that's how it is with dealing with the sons and the daughters of Zion. When you not only are you sent to destroy, to pull down, and to tear down, and to throw down with vibrance. We got that spirit, Zion, when you wake up, and we see other people not want to keep the commandments and this and that. We got that spirit. We want to tear them down and destroy them, which we're supposed to do that with that fervency that we have. But you also supposed to nourish that seed that you done tore down. That takes love. That takes time because it's a seed. It got to grow. That means love. You got to water it. That's love. That means you got to go to that sister, that brother with your last $5 or $10 and you don't know what you're going to do after that. But you got the faith and the testimony to know that y'all where your blessings come from. You trying to show them how to understand the testimonies and the faith and the trials that you done went through so you can show them how to overcome. But it might take your $5 in the meantime while they're doing you bad, Zion, because the seed ain't sprouted forth yet. You got to water it, Zion, when you don't have it in you. Sometimes we all go through frustrations. My life is frustrating me right now. Bills and things and all that we go through, Zion. But if we keep that mission, Yah said he formed us from the womb and he set us out over the nations. Y'all, Zion, you know who I'm talking about. All y'all who got this word in your heart. Everybody want to teach Zion something quick to teach. Y'all done covered your mouth. He done put his words in your mouth. You know he did. And he sent you to root out, to pull down, to throw down, to plant. He sent you out to destroy. But you destroying wickedness, what you see, what you hear out of your eye gate. But also he sent you out to build and to plant. That part takes love, time, patience. Humble is the way, Zion. We're not going to get into the kingdom alone by saying, I know the way. You don't know the way. You shouldn't be doing this. Point a finger at somebody. You might be in the perspective judgment. Because Yah's the ultimate judge. You not they judge. They're his sheep. They're not your sheep. So you got to have a certain amount of patience. Also covering. You got to cover your brothers and your sisters, Zion. You can't run around when you see them doing wickedness and iniquity. You can't go to the next person saying, this person doing wickedness and iniquity. There has to be a certain level of covering where we cover our brothers and our sisters. The word of Cody has something to do with grass. And it means to cover. All right. The word ak has everything to do with a man's house that's not his own. Putting out the fire in another man's house. Covering that man. Covering that family that's not yours. You know? So it's not all about pointing a finger at somebody. You're not doing this right. Listen, Zion, that's good. We supposed to be doing that. But you also supposed to be building and you're supposed to be planting. Now, building and planting, Zion, takes time. It takes patience. It takes watering. It takes nurturing. So not only are you tearing down and you rooting down and you exposing the iniquity in somebody, but you also building them up. That's the part where I see a lot of us go sideways. Humble is the way. He said he chastised those whom he loved. He also says that those that don't know shall be whipped with few stripes. And those that do know shall be whipped with many stripes. So the fact that you know how to keep the commandments and the fact that you telling your brother and sisters how to keep the commandments, you better be keeping them yourself too, you know. But you also supposed to be building and planting, which takes time, love, energy, resources. What would you not give to Zion? You know, because the way you deal with Zion is the way that Yah deals with us. We seek and love patience, grace, and mercy from the Most High. And then when we turn to our brothers and our sisters, we have no patience. We have no resources. We have nothing for them. We say we don't want to be around Negroes and niggas and stuff. That niggas irk my heart, this and that. But y'all had patience with you when you was in your iniquity. He had the time to talk to you when you didn't even want to hear it. This is how we gotta have that same spirit if we want to receive the kingdom, Zion. It takes a humble. He said in Second Peter, he said uh scarcely and barely and scarcely shall the righteous make it into the kingdom, because we're not humble with one another. Don't be afraid of their faces. Don't be scared of what y'all done sent you on mission. He formed you from the womb, out of the belly. He sent you down over the nation because he gave you a word to give to them. And that word that he gave to give to them should root out, it should pull down, and it should destroy, and it should throw down. It should go with a fervency. That's that zeal we got. You ain't supposed to be doing this. We not supposed to be doing this. But at the same time, we supposed to be building. We supposed to be planning. That part takes time. That part takes nurturing. That part takes resources. Okay. Hallelujah. Zion, I just wanted to give a quick word on this Shabbat. Just to do my little part. I know we've been sent down to Arkansas and things have been hard. I've been remodeling this house. And so that's why this scripture really is hitting hard to me, because I'm actually remodeling a house that is old. It's been abandoned. It's my grandmother's legacy, but it's been abandoned. And the Most High, as I'm working on this house, Zion, I'm tearing down. And it's taking time. I'm tearing down. That part don't take no time, because I'm just ripping it out with fervency, because my heart wants to get it done. I got this fervency, and I'm like, everybody done put my grandmother's house away. I want to get it done. I'm going to fix it. Because God put that in my heart to do. And as I'm tearing down this house, the rebuilding part is the part that takes the time. Because you got to think about how you're going to put it back together, Zion. I can't just throw it back up any kind of way. I got to take my time and think about, okay, so if I put this up later on, is this going to work? Is this going to work? Later on, is I'm going to have any problems here? So that when I put it up right. Zion, I'm just trying to encourage you right now to tell y'all to be patient with Zion. Be patient with me. Be patient with one another on this holy Shabbat. For y'all is patient with us. All right? And I see a lot of us, we got the zeal in our heart, and yeah, we've been sent on mission. All of us that's been woke, all of us that are that have that zeal and that fervency in our heart, that when we see that's wrong, that's not of the commandments, when we see Zion, that we also got to have patience with them. Don't put your brother or your sister away too fast, too soon. If you truly say you love them, I'm talking about your mamas, your daddies, your brothers, your sisters. If you say I love them, but I just can't be around them, I get that part. Make yourself scarce. We're not supposed to, dwell with wickedness, but at the same time, don't put them away in your heart. For y'all can do, you don't know what y'all can do. He's the mind regulator. He's the heart fixer. It's not you that's fixing nobody. It's him that's doing it. So you just plant the seed, Zion. Bring the word, that's the water. Hallelujah. And watch and wait and be patient with the expectation that the Most High is going to do the work. With that, I want to just say shalom. I love you, family. Y'all praise the Most High and keep him before you in all things that you do. Hallelujah. Y'all keep praying for me. I'll keep praying for y'all. Amen.